Welcome to another episode of People Will Pod. Imagine being at the absolute pinnacle of the global music industry, honored by King Charles III, performing at Paris cabarets, and holding a mountain of Guinness World Records as part of a corporate music machine, and then deciding to walk away from that solo safety net to build your own empire from scratch.
It really is the ultimate high wire act. I mean, you have everything to lose, but the ambition is so large that the existing infrastructure just simply cannot contain it anymore.
Right, exactly. You're forcing the world to answer a very uncomfortable question. Are you successful because of the machine that built you, or are you the one powering the machine?
Which is such a fascinating lens to look through.
Totally. So for this deep dive, we are exploring the life and career of Lalisa Manoble, known simply to the world as Lisa.
And while you might know her primarily as the breakout rapper and main dancer of the K-pop juggernaut Blackpink, her story is actually this incredible masterclass in cultural synthesis.
Yeah, there is so much more to it than just sold-out stadiums.
Exactly. It's about self-determination and really breaking the notoriously rigid mold of the idol industry.
So our mission today is to unpack exactly how a young girl from Thailand transformed into a global polymath. We're going to look at how she conquered music, fashion, Hollywood, and even the 2026 FIFA World Cup, all by taking total control of her own destiny.
To really understand the scale of this journey, you have to start in Buriram province in Thailand, back in 1997.
Right, to get the foundation.
Yeah. She was born Prempria Manobal, raised by her Thai mother and her Swiss chef stepfather. But Prempria isn't the name the world knows.
No, it's not. There's this wild detail where, on the advice of a fortune teller who suggested a name change would bring prosperity, she legally changed her name to Lalisa.
Which translates directly to the one being praised. It's just a fascinating psychological anchor.
Oh, well.
Like, this wasn't some stage name focus grouped by a marketing team in a boardroom years later. This was a foundational identity shift.
But, prosperity and praise require infrastructure, and she started building hers immediately. By age 4, she was already taking dance classes.
Constantly performing.
Yeah, she was competing across Thailand, joining a dance crew called Wiza Cool. And then the pivotal test arrives in 2010. YG Entertainment, this massive South Korean record label, holds auditions in Thailand.
And 4,000 applicants show up.
4,000. And out of an entire country's worth of hopefuls, Lisa is the single person to qualify.
Try to, conceptualize that math for a moment.
Yeah.
A 1 in 4,000 acceptance rate is statistically harder to achieve than getting into an Ivy League university.
Right. But getting into Harvard doesn't require you to uproot your entire life at age 13, move to a country where you don't speak a word of the language, and essentially become a full-time professional athlete in training.
It really is like an extreme sport.
So what does it take for a 13-year-old to convince an entire board of executives in a foreign country that she is the single best investment they could make?
I think it takes an unprecedented capacity for adaptation. When she officially joined YG Entertainment in 2011, she made history as their first ever non-ethnic Korean trainee.
Which is a huge barrier to break.
Massive. The label was taking a big risk on her, but the burden of proof was entirely on her shoulders. She had to learn fluent Korean just to survive.
And she already spoke English, right?
Exactly. And she methodically picked up basic Japanese and Chinese. This multilingual capability wasn't just a party trick, it became the absolute bedrock of her global appeal later on.
So she's just absorbing every cultural input around her.
Yeah, and that intensive training period lasted for years before she finally debuted with Blackpink in 2016.
They obviously became one of the best-selling girl groups of all time. But I want to fast forward a bit to focus on her emergence as a standalone force. Because in 2021, she makes her solo debut with the single album Lalisa, and the sheer commercial gravity of it is staggering.
Staggering is the right word. She sold 736,000 copies in South Korea in the first week alone.
That's insane.
She was the first female artist to ever do that domestically.
Yeah.
And the music video for the lead track broke the YouTube record for the most viewed video by a soloist in 24 hours.
And it wasn't even limited to the heavily promoted lead single. The B-side track, Money, just takes on this organic life of its own.
It went wildly viral on social media.
Yeah, without traditional radio pushes. And it eventually became the first track by a K-pop soloist to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify.
And that era really cemented her status as a global record breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, she accumulated 9 Guinness World Records.
Wait, 9?
Yeah, she surpassed Psy the artist behind Gangnam Style to become the K-pop soloist with the most Guinness World Records in history.
That is wild.
Plus, she became the most followed K-pop artist on Instagram, hovering over 87 million followers.
Then come all the massive collaborations. You have SG with DJ Snake, Ozuna, and Megan Thee Stallion. She headlines the Crazy Horse Cabaret in Paris in 2023.
Getting honored by King Charles III.
Right, the honorary MBE. The establishment is giving her every flower imaginable. But I actually need to stop the celebration right here and push back on this narrative of total victory.
Okay, please do.
We are listing all these monumental historic achievements, but we're kind of ignoring the fundamental business structure underneath them. She's breaking records left and right, but she's still essentially a highly paid employee of YG Entertainment at this point.
Right.
So how much of this is her and how much is the machine? She doesn't own any of this, does she?
You've hit the exact nerve center of her career. That tension is the absolute catalyst for everything she does next.
Because the traditional structure is so rigid.
Exactly. To understand why, you have to look at how a K-pop label operates. Because of the immense upfront financial risk of training idols, the traditional contract dictates that the label owns the masters, manages the brand deals, and controls the schedule.
So the label built the infrastructure, they took the initial financial risk, so they own the house, and Lisa is just like renting a room in it.
She's a superstar on a lease. She injected her own charisma and talent, but the foundational ownership was not in her hands.
Which brings us to a huge turning point late 2023. The original Blackpink contracts are up for renewal.
And the whole industry is watching.
Yeah. YG announces that Lisa and the other members have renewed their contracts for group activities, but they chose not to renew for individual activities.
That single decision completely redraws the map for modern K-pop superstars.
Because usually they just sign with a smaller label or pivot to acting, right?
Right. But Lisa decides to become the CEO. In February 2024, she launches her own management company, LLOUD.
And then just 2 months later, in April 2024, she announces this game-changing partnership with RCA Records. And the crucial detail here is that Lisa retains full ownership of all her recordings.
Which is the holy grail of the music business.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've seen Western artists fight tooth and nail for their masters, but in an industry built on creating idols that the labels own, Lisa essentially stepped out and said, no, I own me. That is a seismic shift.
It's a revolutionary business move. By controlling her masters and management, she transitions from a manufactured idol to an independent music mogul.
She set a totally new blueprint.
She really did. And we have to look at what she actually did with this newly won freedom leading up to her February 2025 debut album, Alter Ego.
The rollout for that album was everywhere. It kicked off with the lead single, Rockstar,
which was filmed in Bangkok as a massive homage to her Thai culture.
Then you had New Woman featuring Rosalia, Moonlit Floor, and the official Thailand chart #1, Born Again, with Doja Cat and Ray.
And the 2025 Media Blitz was just relentless. She performed at the 97th Academy Awards, making her the first K-pop singer to ever do so.
She played Coachella in 2025 and even launched Lalisa Comics with the graphic novel Alter Ego, the official comic.
But, we should add some nuance here. Despite the massive commercial success, Alter Ego actually received mixed reviews from music critics.
I think that friction is vital to understanding her evolution, you know? When you step out of a highly curated billion-dollar machine and declare yourself the creative director, you step into this profound vulnerability.
The safety net is completely gone.
Right. The critics are no longer reviewing a focus-grouped pop song. They're reviewing your specific, unfiltered artistic vision. So when you take big creative swings, you take the critical hits too.
Exactly. But the mixed reviews didn't slow her down at all because she had already diversified her cultural portfolio.
Because controlling her music was only half the battle. In February 2025, the exact same month her album drops, she makes her acting pivot.
Debuting in HBO's The White Lotus Season 3.
Yes. Playing the character Mook and crediting herself under her given name, Lalisa Menobel.
It's a highly strategic move. She stripped away the Lisa Pop persona to be judged purely on her performance art.
Which signals to Hollywood that she expects to be taken seriously. And it worked because she signed with WME for acting, leading to her role in the Netflix Extraction spinoff Tygo alongside Don Lee.
In a new rom-com, She is just continuously expanding.
Which brings us right up to the present day, July 2026. Let's examine the sheer scale of her cultural footprint now.
It's astronomical. Just a few weeks ago, in June 2026, she headlined the FIFA World Cup opening ceremony in Los Angeles with Anita and Rima.
Making her the first female K-pop act to do that.
Yeah. And surprising fans at Coachella 2026 with Anima for Bad Angel.
Not to mention her upcoming Las Vegas residency at Caesars Palace in November 2026. Viva Lalisa.
A historic first for a K-pop artist. Vegas residencies used to be the final stop for older artists, but now they are the ultimate status symbol for peak-era superstars.
And we can't forget her fashion empire. Global ambassadorships with Celine, MAC, Bulgari, and then those massive deals as house ambassador for Louis Vuitton in 2024 and Nike in 2026.
She is influencing the aesthetic direction of heritage brands at this point.
When you look at all of this, from high fashion runways to comic books to Las Vegas residencies, is she even a K-pop star anymore? Or has she evolved into a completely different category of celebrity?
I really think she represents a new era of global celebrity. She is Thai by birth, K-pop by training, and entirely borderless by execution.
Borderless, that's the perfect word for it.
And she uses her platform to give back, which is so important. She's been praised by the Thai Prime Minister and honored as a cultural ambassador leader.
Researchers even named a newly discovered Thai flower species after her, the Frisidelcia Lalisa.
Yeah, but she also channels resources back home, like funding that cultural compound and dance academy in Buriram. She continuously shapeshifts while staying anchored to her roots.
It really brings this full circle back to the opening tension in that fortune teller. Pranpriya became Lalisa, the one being praised.
She certainly fulfilled the prophecy.
She did. But the ultimate takeaway for you to mull over is this. She didn't just sit back and let the praise come to her through a corporate machine.
Not at all.
When the time was right, she bought her own freedom, built her own company, and engineered her own global empire. Thanks for listening to People Pod. Keep tuning in for more stories worth knowing.